return when we're going to go fully into the second coming. Now, like the prophets of old, they always, this is that time they all been looking for, that they've been prophesying about. And how do we know we're close to that time? People always say, well, all generations been saying it's that time. Well, how do we know we're close to that time? By the signs, and by these prophecies that are popping off. That's how you know, how you measure the time and know where we're at in history. Because we're seeing the downfall of this kingdom right before our eyes. We're seeing the collapse of the dollar, the petrodollar, which is the dollar that's been used to throughout the whole world. As currency throughout the whole world. And now, they collapsing that dollar, they going to what they call the that Russia has the BRICS, which consists of Brazil, Russia, Brazil, Russia, Iran. Let's see, I forget what C is. Might be China, and that's, I think, is South Africa. But you have a lot of African countries that are into it. But that's going to help collapse further along, collapse the dollar. And so once the dollar collapses, man, really what all it's going to lead down to is going into this digital system. Because all your money and your payments and everything's going to be done digitally. And that's part of us, them merging us in to the new digital age, man. You had all these revolutions. You had the Industrial Revolution. You had the technology revolution. Now we're going into the digital revolution. And they want slaves for that revolution. They want slaves. How they gonna get them slaves? They gonna have you tie into their system. And by collapsing this system, they're gonna bring in draconian laws, and they're gonna force you to bow the knee to Baal, man. And that's you going down there and getting that digital oil, that charagma, either in your hand or in your hand. Which has been prophesied in the Bible, Revelation chapter 12, verse 13. So we know we're close to that time, man. We know we're you're almost there. Because you see the writing on the wall, man. And those of us that's in this truth, I can see it for what it is, man. It's plain as day. Them bringing in the so-called migrants over here, it's going to help further along collapsing the system. Now they're talking about a strike at the longshoreman ports, which I used to work in the transportation industry. I understand, how this system is set up, that everything is dependent upon each other. So if you shut down the ports and that cargo from coming in, because you got to think about it, we have tons of cargo coming in and going out every day. And this place now is not dependent upon itself, Now we depend on all these other countries for our foods and needs, And then you go into the interior, the lifeline of this country, and nobody grows their own food anymore. We don't produce anything here in this country anymore, and that all went away back in the 1980s with the bill that was signed by Bill Clinton during that time. That were I can't think of the name of the bill right now. It was something to deal with the tariffs and the trade agreement, where we were going to import a lot more than what we export. That means we're not going to produce anymore. A lot of our companies in that agreement went to these other countries and set up shop over there. And part of that agreement, was we would buy their goods and their needs, and they would be able to sell their shit over here. And I've seen this in my lifetime, you know, and that goes to kind of tells my age a little bit. But I've seen where we transitioned over from that. Back in my days, back in the 70s, man, I remember they used to say, don't buy anything unless it's made in America. Now we don't make shit in America. Back in the 80s and 90s, that shit transitioned over to we were buying things from India, Korea, China. Majority of a lot of shit come from China. And a lot of those countries over there. So a lot of our basic needs were imported to us instead of us growing and building up manufacturing those things here at home. And it's all by design, man. He is doing this by design because he wants to see the collapse, because he wants to restart it and reboot it, thinking that he's still going to be on top in his new digital age, man. His new digital system that he thinks he can have total and full control over the masses and the people. And once that system come in, he will have that control. He will have that kind of control over the people. That means you're not going to be able to do anything, make any money or any type of way to survive not outside of his system. And at the end of the day, the Lord has set it all up, man. He don't realize that he's being played by Yahweh, by Shem, Yahweh, by our Most High power, man. The Most High already predicted this is how things are going to go down from the beginning, man. This devil can't bypass or offset these prophecies, man. Nothing that he can do. Even if him trying to eliminate us, I'm not talking about us, I'm talking about you Israelites, you Hebrew Israelites, you so-called black, Hispanics, and Native Americans. His rulership is coming to an end, man. And like I say, we can see everything is building up right now. He really tells you to his face that this shit's about to go down, man. He don't hide it anymore. He put it out there in plain sight. He wants shit to hit the fan, man. That's why every day he's pushing this propaganda about the Venezuelans, you know, taking over blocks and shit, taking over these ratchet ass apartment complexes. Man, that shit is so far from the truth, man. But they're trying to push that, conquer and divide, man. They want to create that division, but gives him proper authority to come in there and shut everything down, man, and implement his martial law so he can bring in his draconian laws, man, and his rules. Yeah, we can come in and confiscate your weapons. He's gonna be able to put you in internment camps, you and your family. And that's going to be for you 2/3 Jason, because you choose to put your trust and your belief in Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shah. You rather put your trust in Egypt, man. And this man is going to do you wrong, man. It was crazy, you know. He's going back to his old ways, you know. He had a George Floyd thing. They didn't want it to happen during that time because they didn't quite have everything set in place. Right after during the George Floyd time, that's like I said, that's when they started having these little mini riots and stuff that were jumping off all across the country. But it wasn't that time. And so they kind of reel you jakes back in by giving you a few appeasing to some of your needs, letting you have your entertainers during the Super Bowl, allowing you jakes to have commercials. You started seeing more and more Israelite people on these commercials on TV. They started playing your music in some of these sporting events, and Jake kind of felt to the point that, okay, everything's gonna be all right, man. This man is kind of giving in. This man ain't never giving in. Now, once this election jump off and all this shit pop off, he gonna go back to his old ways, man. And scripture tells you, you know, can leopard change the stripes? And you're gonna see his countenance gonna change, man, during that time. The Lord can put a spirit on these Edomites. He can put a spirit on these Edomites But they ain't gonna hold back. It's gonna be like it was in the what they call the Red Summer of 1919, man. You gonna put that same spirit on these Jakes, man. And you can see us building up to that now, because these Edomites, man, they've been sitting back in the cut wait, building up their arms, building up their arms, setting up their militias, gathering up all their provisions. They've been preparing for this day for a long time, man. And that same spirit of old is the Lord going to put that back on these same Edomites. And now that you got all these different so-called migrants over here, and they put majority of the blame and to highlight these Venezuelans, man. You have Cubans and you have all down in South America, the Caribbeans that's over here. They don't highlight that they have a lot of Ishmael and a lot of Moab that came through them gates, man. And a lot of Hamites and the Canaanites have came in through those gates. You look at some of the YouTube channels, man, where they got people down at the border, and then you see a large mix of those other nations that's coming over here. And that's going to be your UN, those Gerber troops, that's not going to have any type of compassion on these Babylonians, man. They ain't going to have any type of compassion on them. You're not going to regard your gold, your silver, whether you're an old person, a woman, or a child, man. And the last thing you want to be during that time when shit hits the fan is be a goddamn woman out here. Because you independent women going to be the first to go. You're going to be the first ones that's going to be brutally attacked. And we know we talk about when they attack the women in wartime, how that shit usually turn out, man. They're going to be ran through. All that want to be seen and that pride and all that shit, flaunting them eyelashes and walking around half naked. You're going to wish you was a man during those days, man. And you got to the point that you done turned your men so far away from you that they fleeing to these other countries. Jake getting the hell up out of Dodge, man. Jake don't want to be around these women that's been created here in Babylon the Great. These women going to be left defenseless. That pride that they think they don't need a man, and these little Pookie and Ray Ray children that they done raised, man, these little effeminate damn kids are not going to be able to save them. Once the fear of the Lord, man, turn that shit loose here in Babylon, man. This shit gonna be hot like an oven, man. If you don't have this truth, and you don't know the name of the Lord, and you ain't repentant, it's gonna be a living hell down here. Same as it was in the time of 70 AD, when they came and kicked us out of our homeland. They didn't hold back, man. They didn't hold back on Jake at all. And that's those same Edomites that's back here today, and those same Jakes that's back here today. And they're gonna go through it over again. Like I said, back in the 70s, man, a lot of Jakes, man, they had community gardens and shit like that in them neighborhoods. We had our own grocery stores and our own corner stores and restaurants and shit like that. Esau, being as crafty as he is, man, he took all you Jakes' provisions away from you. Then you have to go through him for everything. And then in your place, he brought these other heathen nations over here and propped them up in your neighborhood through loans. I remember some of those community stores, man. I talked to one of the owners, man, back in the day. I might have been in the 80s or early 90s. And he had a store in the neighborhood like forever. One of them corner stores. And he said those Ishmaelites came over here. We used to call them sand niggas or whatever, during that time. They came over here and made him an offer he couldn't refuse, man. They bought his store out. So the government designed that and set that up, man. I remember traveling through all of those small country towns. I used to do a lot of traveling and riding during that time, man. And them little small Jake-owned country stores and corner stores and shit like that, they bought every one of them out. They took all our provisions away from us. Now you can't find a Jake today that has a garden. Jake don't know how to prep his own food. You might have a few scattered here and there, but that's far and few in between, man. And when that shit hits the fan and motherfuckers get out here and start starving, and you can't call Grubhub and you can't call DoorDash, none of that shit. These drive-thrus ain't open, these stores shut down. And Jake not used to going without a meal. And you know, Jake ain't gonna fast at all, man. These 2/3 niggas ain't gonna fast for shit. That's why the Lord's been preparing us, man, by doing these fasts, man. We have to fast often to prepare ourselves. Plus, also to keep our spirit in check. And Lord will, this be the year, man. Lord will, this be the year. If you're in this truth, man, you want to see this shit come to an end fast, man, because it's heading nowhere fast. This place is waxing worse and worse with all type of iniquity and abominations, man. And if you got kids, you damn sure don't want to see your kids coming into this new society, man, this new world, man. He don't hide it. He tell you what the play is, man. He put it right out there on the table. And then when you speak on it, they're gonna quick to classify you as some type of conspiracy theorist. But really, you are conspiracy theorists. You're conspiracy because they conspired against you. All it takes is 1 or 2 more people to do something wickedly against you, and that's conspiracy, man. And that's exactly what they're doing. They don't hide it, man. They hide it not. They do it right out in front of your eyes, man. These entertainers, they worship Satan right in front of your eyes. They don't even hide that shit no more. They got Jake so much under a spell, man, from his witchcraft. Jake don't know whether he's coming or going. And that's why we thank Yahweh Shem Yahushua every day for waking us up out of that coma that we were in, man. We were just like these 2/3 Jakes before. We were them same niggas running around like the 2/3 Jakes, man, co-signing all this wicked shit that was going on. As long as it didn't bother me, you know, it's okay. And we dealt with it. With this truth, man, you know that you have to draw a line in the sand. And that's part of you repenting. And you trying to follow, you do your best to follow the ways of law, statutes, and commandments, man, to the best of your ability. Right now, we have grace, man. We have mercy. But that mercy door is slowly coming to an end, man. The Lord is going to unleash those death angels, man. And that death score is going to be way up there. But that's pretty much it, man. I don't want to drag this thing on too long, man. While the spirit was hot on it, I was watching the brother from GMS